everyone, this is Baylan Megino from The Leader's Edge, brought to you by Global Dream Makers. I am absolutely honored. Today we have Ntsiki Ncoco joining us from the Power of Integrity Foundation and Incorporated. Ntsiki worked at the University of Transkei for 13 years, or for more than 13 years, in executive administration. She then joined the University of South Africa in the office of the university's Vice Chancellor Association. And then she started her own human resources consulting agency, offering general human resources solutions and executive placements. She is the founder of Power to Lead with Integrity Foundation and has an honorary doctorate of divinity degree given to her by the Council of Bishops in Africa. She was nominated as one of South Africa's most inspirational women, has been profiled in the book Women Excel, her foundation was the second runner-up in the South Africa Heroes Awards, and in 2021, she's a nominee in the leadership category of the World Women Conference and Awards. Excuse me. She's a board director of Power to Lead with Integrity, Anointed Media, CEO Clubs Worldwide, and Global Chairwomen Organization. She consults with different corporate companies in South Africa, facilitating change in project management in telecommunications and IT systems, such as Mobile Telecommunications Network and with Sonova IT Consultancy, where she facilitated change management program for the new implementation of the system's integration at the South African Civil Aviation Authority. She's a management consultant at Power to Lead with Integrity, focusing on leadership growth and advancement, human resources solutions, coaching, and Masterclass. Coaching and mentoring of women for board directorship with Global Chairwomen Organization, headhunting and placements of women in board director positions. She is the chairperson of CEO Clubs Worldwide South Africa chapter and B2B Global Business Linkages. Welcome, Ntsiki.
Thank you so much, Baylan. Good morning, America. It's an evening in South Africa. Thank you for having me on your podcast. How are you doing this morning?
It's a beautiful day. And I'm really excited to hear what you have to say about the power of integrity. But before we go there, I want to ask you, could you share with us some of your journey that brought you to the work that you're doing now?
All right, thank you so much, Baylan, for that opportunity. As you just cited, I started working at the University of Transkei and started on just normal position as a typist, of which that position helps me even today to do well on my typing skills. So I do my own, very particular in my typing. And from there, I grew up the ranks of the administration at the university. And after that, after I did my degree in education, majored with education honors and economics. Then, like everybody else, you work in one place for 13.5 years, you feel like you've reached the ceiling in your kind of role and the rank you're going up. And also I wanted to explore, to get out of the place where I grew up, and I wanted to go somewhere. So it was quite a lovely opportunity when South Africa now was, gaining its independence, and then a lot of companies and government offices were moving from the small country of Transkei into South Africa. So it was just one country now. So I also followed through. I moved to the Gauteng province of South Africa, which is the head of the provinces in South Africa, 9 provinces. So I started there my passion was on what I was already doing at the University of Transkei on human resources solutions. And I was on the finance side of the students administration as well, and on the academics. So I then followed through the human resources part when I got to the University of South Africa in being an executive in the office of the CEO. And we were looking after all the universities now. That was then called the CAP, that was a committee of university principals. But then now it changed, it had a new name, South Africa's Universities Vice Chancellors Association. So we were communicating with all, so it was abbreviated as CAP, So we communicated with all university principals from our office, and also the principals, the vice chancellors of the technicons as well. We're under the one body. And we're communicating with Commonwealth universities globally. So our office was directly involved. I was directly involved in communicating there. So it was a lovely journey and on public relations. So my journey and was really into getting into my business as well. So I got into my business in 1999 after an ordeal of a car accident for the whole year. I was like home, healing from the, back up. But the beauty of pain, beyond that pain, was that I started my business whilst I was still sitting in bed, and I'd make calls. And then once in a while, when I managed to drive, I'll drive out to clients and make consultations, come back home and take my rest. So I started my company then. I consulted in recruitment and human resources training and development. And hence my love for personal development, hence my love for the justice of integrity in our operations, because of the past experiences where you see that, as much as we're in corporates, the integrity of being chosen as a consulting company, as an agent, because of your, honors that you qualify to give that service, rather than going in there and bribe your way out to offer the services. So, like any other, industry in recruitment, there were issues where people want the cut out of what you're going to bring in. You're bringing in an offering. You are not begging for services, and you will do justice to your services. So the issues of bribing your way through in offering services and consulting brought me into this foundation of power to lead with integrity.
That's powerful. That's incredibly powerful, because what you're doing is you are shifting, you're teaching people the mindset that is needed to be able to shift from a very well entrenched way of doing business and shifting to, shifting to a more integrous system, that will allow the whole society to change. Once people are able to trust, that they are going to be heard, that they don't have to do the old practices. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for creating that.
Thank you.
So what do you? Okay, so in your journey, what did you see were the problems? What were the main problems that you saw that need to shift in leadership, in the way that people think of leadership? Because what we're focusing on today is mindset. How can we help our young leaders, or all our leaders? How can we help our leaders to think more clearly in alignment with their purpose and their heart and soul, so that it's for the betterment of humanity?
Thanks for that question, Baylan. I'm focusing on leading from within as leaders, all levels of leadership. The important thing is to lead from within, lead with our minds, our spirit, and our souls, the goodness of our hearts. Put that on the level of personal development. And our outcome that we're looking for here is perform with excellence in whatever we do and lead with that integrity. And it should be really a powerful way of leading the countries. This is one thing that we all know and we all have, the power to lead in every area of our lives. Everyone has a power to lead, even if you're leading yourself only. But here's the issue where it lies that makes the leaders not to be the perfect good leaders for leading the people and taking the countries forward to the next generations. It is the integrity of it. We have the power to lead, but do we lead with integrity in all spheres of our life, starting with your life, your personal life, when you are alone, in that leading from within, in that personal development? You know, I've been through so many training programs. I've signed up for training programs, seminars, workshops, offered some, attended, weekend retreats, attended so many, National Achievers Awards, all those programs that will be packed the whole weekend. And we have so many speakers, like your Les Brown, they will come and teach us, about leadership in South Africa. We have our own leaders in South Africa who lead us, in the ways of advancing and progressing as a country. They also offer good programs. We attend all those, coupled with what you want to see coming from other global nations. So after attending all these, becoming a junk seminar, attender, I have so many training programs on my desk. I have so many books. I have so many articles. Now, sometimes it's like, okay, too much information, and you have to sift and focus in what is your passion and your purpose, your vision, your role. After getting all these, it's good to have all aspects of leadership from different leaders. But here's the thing. We are all designed uniquely. There's only one me, Ntsiki Ncoco, on earth, with my only fingerprints and nobody else. There's only one me on earth with my values and nobody else. That's what I learned from those seminars, like, wow, my values are nobody else's values, but they complement other people's values. So the focus now was, I have been trained, I have developed so much, like a growing child, you develop to a stage of maturity in life. So after being matured in leadership, what do? We have to advance, to perform it as we say it. We have to advance and to execute it perfectly for the next generations to take from us what is good. When we lead with our hearts, we know that we are leading people who have appointed us to be in these positions. So the justice that should be done is that let us do good and make sure that what we teach to others and also what we learn from leaders of excellence. We learn from leaders who are really doing good global, who are not greedy. Money is good, but money, when we run for money in things that we do as leaders, that's all, the leadership without integrity comes in. We see things that are happening. I don't think it's one country that is faced with such challenges of corruption in the high ranks in leadership. Now, that's what we need to change. we can change that. If everybody else can take it up as a personal calling, a personal development, personal advancement in doing the right thing, we can have a better world.
Yes, yes. We are in complete alignment, Ntsiki. The program that I have, that I put people through to be able to define what is their dream, what is their vision, allows them to look at all areas of their life and to see how that inspiration that they have can ripple out into all areas, and in a very natural and progressive way. Excuse me. You are talking about the same thing. You're talking about how do you align that vision with the values and to live that, correct? So one thing that you make me think about is that you are in an area where there are so many different cultures, African cultures, as well as other cultures that have come in. What do you suggest? Let's say there's a leader of an organization and they have a multicultural workforce. What do you advise them to do to be able to acknowledge and manage through and lead through the differences that you find in cultures?
My advice here, and with the help of the power from above to help me to answer it, in a perfect way, is that we are in countries where there's diverse people. So if we lead knowing that we lead with diversity and inclusion, then we respect everybody. There should be a respect, the culture, the traditions and the values are really very important for us to lead the way forward. If I meet someone, let me know that I'm meeting a human being on earth. If that person comes from my tribe, from my village, from my location, from my community, from my country, or from my global collaborations, let us lead with this integrity of knowing that we are one. I guess what happened to us in the world showed us that we are truly one. We all faced one thing. We all faced the pandemic throughout the world. And it made us, it was a defining moment for me and for many of us, or maybe for all of us, that, look, we are not different. It touched every skin color, it touched every level, it touched every, high and low rank, every country and industry. We all faced one thing. That means we are one. Therefore, when we lead, let's respect each other in that form. Let us know that in every area, people contribute from their different industries. People contribute from their different countries. People contribute from their different ages. Our young leaders also teach us something. Some teach us patience. We have to be patient with them because they see this thing, they want to run with this global dream makers vision, and they just want to push it forward. So we have to be patient, when we teach that, look, yes, run with it. You have passion, you want to move, but there are steps to follow. But there are things to learn on the way. There is, experience that you must have earned to be in this position. Like in our country, there was this aspect of a BE, and that is empowerment on the equal opportunities for the, those disadvantaged people who were disadvantaged before, we got our independence. So in some areas, we needed some people who were there before us to sponsor us in training us into incorporating us into the ways they were operating. We need to learn from them. They needed to also learn from us how to move together. So really, the mutual respect on the diversity and inclusion is the most important.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Now, I was in a conversation over on Clubhouse the other day, and they were talking about leadership. And I can't remember who the quote was from, but we eventually talked about what is the difference between a leader and a manager. Can you give us your thoughts on that?
All right. A leader, all right, let me start with a manager. A manager manages, programs, structure, people. They supervise people. Those are managers, and that is their role. It is good for them to do that. But leaders, they inspire people. Leaders motivate people. Leaders empower people. Leaders, go in the forefront. I can surely say leaders are catalysts because they run with the vision. They inspire, they motivate, they teach forward, they empower, they make sure people follow through. But managers, they sit on the steps of doing things, on the structures of doing things, want to make sure that everything is there, offices, how to run things, So they're both good. We need both. We need all of them, but the leaders, they inspire. Hence, you see a lot of leaders don't hold offices of, executive, directors who are administrators. I safely say leaders are the executors and administrators are the managers. They conduct, the work behind scenes, and the leaders are in the forefront, inspiring people. The reformers, they are the reformers. They reform the culture, and the managers, they make sure that the operations are going smooth.
Yes, we need all of them. And
Yes,
then there are also the followers. There are also the followers.
Yes.
I wanted to welcome Yolanda Mabuto, also from South Africa. Thank you for joining us, Yolanda. All right, so as you're working with young potential board members, in terms of education, what advice would you give them about what to focus on as they're going through college? Because when you're going through college, you're not thinking, oh, I'm going through college because I'm eventually going to be a member of a board. They're not thinking that way. However, once they get to that point, there are certain skills and ways of being, ways of relating to people that are important. And what would you suggest that they make sure that they are very strong in their arsenal of tools that they use as leaders?
All right. I would suggest to young leaders that before you wish to be a board member, you need to learn from the previous board members. You need to be under the training first of all. It is very important now to be trained and to be certified as a board member and to go through a proper training, because as a board member, you are leading the strategy of the organization. And the strategy of the organization, sometimes we look at them a short term, 1 year, 3 years, or 5 years. So we are looking into being part of the leaders who will be leading the whole organization and all the departments. So to be there, you must have earned some experience. You must have earned some education. You must have earned, some skills to be there. It is, it's, I must say, those are hot seats because they make sure that the performance of the organization, the vision is aligned to the strategy. And they make sure that all departments, they perform accordingly. The board makes sure that even the CEO is operating according to the vision and the strategy of the organization and to the best ability of, pleasing the expectations of the stakeholders, all stakeholders. So there are many stakeholders, starting with pleasing and being the organization that will perform and with excellence. Sometimes we see in the industries that even the government organizations, they get nominated for excellence in performance in the whole year, or the boards. Board members are highly nominated. And when they are highly nominated, there are requirements. So hence the importance of being trained, of being coached, of being mentored on those roles is very important. Because again, as board members, where we're doing training with the Global Chairwomen Organization, we're training women who are young and old, who have been in board positions, and some have not been, but they've been executive executors in their companies. And some have been board members in the so-called NGOs. The importance of being there is that you get assessed, first of all, who you are. Who is Baylan? And what roles have you performed before? What are your skills? What are your gifts? What is your experience? What are you bringing on the table? And exactly where do you fit? We have an assessment tool, the Contributor Compass, and that Contributor Compass, it shows exactly how me as Ntsiki Ncoco is going to contribute in the bigger board. So in this contribution compass, there are 7, arrows that are showing who I am. Am I a catalyst? Am I a conductor? Am I a coach? Am I a connector? And so 7 of them. So in the board, they must fit each and every role so that there are no clashes. If we are all catalysts in the board, remember now we are all reformers. And we're all leaders who have a vision and passion to run. If there's no conductor there who makes sure all the administration on the high level is done, if there's no connector who makes sure, okay, here we need a certain kind, a caliber that can be part of our board or our organization or our stakeholders, we will miss it. So we need the whole mix to be together, and it will balance the board. So we do that kind of training that makes sure that the board is balanced, the board is equipped. Especially these days, we need boards that are equipped. You don't need to start a board and then it dissolves because of not operating with integrity. We need to know our roles very well and our mission there. Thank you.
Oh, that's beautiful. Here in the United States, it is an option whether you get that level of training. And I think it's much better that it should be a requirement that when you become a board member that you get the training, because it can make a difference in how effective you can be, because you know the systems that work at the board level. So I'm so happy to hear that you are making that a requirement. Um, so there are 7 areas. I love that. I love that. Um,
Yeah.
is this a training that that you created, or is it a training? Who created the training, or who decided what is part of the training?
We are 4 companies that came together, and in 3 companies are in South Africa, and the company, the mother company that gives us the training has been in the industry for more than 25 years. So we decided to collaborate with the best from Netherlands, and we get our training online. I gave you only 4 so that people can get in touch with us and know more, and not dish out everything, so they understand how the training goes. So we collaborated. It's 4 companies, and we made sure we sent out the advert to people who had the desire to be board members. And when they are board members, they want to do justice to their positions and to their roles and to their offering, for not others for being in their board positions in other organizations only, even for our own organizations, our own foundations, our own companies, so that we know that for us to perform and get to the next level in our businesses, how do we go about? And amazingly so, one thing that amazed most of the trainees there was that, wow, it is so important to have a board for your organization. And some, remember, there are people who are running their organization solo, but the important thing that is we've learned, it's a program that is running through 1 year, that it is important to have a board. It will help you as the owner of the organization to execute your vision well. It will help you to operate well. It will help you to operate and collaborate with the right stakeholders. And it will help all organizations and industries. It will help you to get to the level of, operating globally and also competing globally. Because you'll have a lot of gifts and skills and education and experiences around you that are making sure that everything is running properly in the organization.
Yes, yes. I mean, there's the board of directors, and sometimes there's a board of advisors also. We
Yes.
can't do these things alone. And really, to be able to serve our vision and our purpose properly, we have to bring other people along with us who will help to make it happen. And that's what the board is. So can we back up just a little bit? I want to talk a little bit more about vision. Let's talk about vision and then integrity with your vision. Um, for the Leader's Edge, for the Global Dream Makers, your vision is everything. Your vision is everything. And then being able to act so that you are on purpose and in alignment with that vision. How do you help your potential board members? And I'm assuming you also keep in touch with them once they become board members. But how do you help them understand implementing vision or getting access to vision, because that's where everything starts?
First of all, we assist and help them to know the very thing that organization is in existence of. Why was it established?
Mm-hmm.
When we know that here is the vision, the framework, the whole framework of the vision of the organization is very important, because that's where we all have to move. otherwise we'll miss it. So we implement that in the strategy, outline every department that is important at the beginning of the vision, outline every aspect of the mission of the organization, outline every aspect of the expectations of our stakeholders, expectations of our customers, what we will offer to the customers also should be the need. We established these organizations because we are addressing a solution. We are a solution, and that solution is the need of a customer. So we come in and make sure that in everything we do, make sure that we meet the requirements of being that solution. We meet the requirements of helping that needy client and make sure that we execute according to their according to their needs and according to our excellence.
What would you define as the leader's edge?
Sorry, I didn't get you there.
What would you define as the leader's edge?
Oh, to operate on the cutting edge. Always be on the cutting edge as the leader. Always be updated, upgrade all the time. We must learn all the time. We must collaborate with the same visions that we have. And we must make sure when we come to collaborate, we don't come and take, we also bringing in something into the table. So the leader's edge should be really leaders who want to operate on the cutting edge, leaders who have offering, leaders who have a vision, a global vision, to see beyond their positions and to see their call to the global nations, not just their only, organizations or industries, but there's a call that is collaborating and bring us all to the call of the global nations so that we can see the next generations coming up. Our edge should be teaching the next generations to really be better than us, for that matter. We should be teaching them because we have learned, and then where we've made mistakes, at least we can show them that don't take the longer route. Here's a clear route for us. We took this route and we made mistakes and we got into the cul-de-sac, but for you, learn from us and take it forward.
Yes, yes. Wonderful foundation, foundational work, foundational thinking for the future. Yes. Oh, goodness. Who are your role models as you were coming up? Who are your role models?
Definitely the first ones were my very parents. My parents were my role models because they were also leaders. Yes, leaders in the church, in the global church. And my father was a pastor. My mother was also leading, like, you know a pastor's wife. So I'm a pastor's kid. We were called PKs. So those were my first role models and who groomed me to be who I am today. So I give the credit to them. My parents, my mom is late, but my dad is still there and I still touch base with him. He was a man of vision, a man of building up communities, a man who didn't see a certain denomination. He saw a global village of even churches where he was leading. So he was, in the village where we grew up, he was a pastor for everybody in that village. So hence I've learned that I'm not in a box of a certain church. I am a global leader. I'm in the communities as a leader in the community. Everybody is a human being. Like I said to you, we have cultures, values that are the same, and we all want to grow together. So Those were my first role models. And of course, in the industry, I have so many friends who have been in big positions and who have made sure that they lead with integrity, and they've been also coaching me, walking with me the road of this leadership, supporting the vision of power to lead with integrity. I don't want to mention names because I might mess up and not mention somebody who did a very big impact on power to lead with integrity. But let me tell you, when we launched that day, I had 7 friends who spoke on power of leading with integrity from different areas, industries. And also I had someone from the UK who came all the way to launch the foundation. So you see, when you have role models all over, but let me mention at least one in South Africa. She's a young lady, and she was one of the speakers on that day. She is now the very first Black lady who is our Auditor General in the country. That is Ntsiki Ncoco. She is a beautiful soul, humble, but with integrity. So she came to speak about the integrity. At that time, she was still a Deputy Auditor General. It was still a wow. She was still the very first Black lady in our country to be in that position. Now, amazingly, she leads the country. How amazing is that?
That's wonderful. Oh, I think the future is looking very bright because of all of these changes.
Yes.
Well, okay, so right now we are in the throes of change around the world, and we are shifting from a way of living and of creating our businesses, our just our whole mindset from a masculine, I want to say a masculine versus a feminine way of leading. And uh, we have seen what does not work. We're not throwing all of it away, but we need to find a balance. And so,
Yes.
what do you tell women is important that they bring to the fore, that they bring to the forefront of their leadership as women? What is it? What is different for women to have to do now?
All right. First of all, it's what we bring into the table as women, the mindset, to understand that we are not saying we are coming to take over completely all the roles of leadership from men. We are coming to partner with them. We are coming to show up in the areas where we have been disadvantaged. And that in that way, as we come in to be included in the decision-making positions, our a kind of personalities that we bring in, they should not come with arrogance. That, yeah, it's our time, we're taking over, and now it's your time to sit down. It's time to be included in the roles of decision making, to take it forward together. It's time for the areas where in the board positions, that's where also we're saying, if a board has got 10 male figures and only 1 female, then it means
Thank you, everyone.
We are saying that which is not true, that there are not many women who can compete in operations, not in competing as seeing who is who, but to compete with the work that they've been given, to execute it perfectly. And now we're saying, bring in other women, coach them as men who has been in advantage in these positions, bring them up, sponsor them, train them, give them an opportunity to do this in front of you. See where they fail, help them to come up. Where they still need mentorship and coaching, coach us. We are here, we are ready to learn, and we are ready to go forward together. We are not coming with arrogance. We are not coming with personalities of, yeah, here, it's our time now. But we are saying, we are here, we are able and capable. Let's do it together.
Yes, yes, beautiful, beautiful. Well, Ntsiki, I think we need to wind up soon. Are there any last thoughts you'd like to share before I ask my final question?
All right. I'd like to, say, as we rise as women in leadership, my plea and my call to all leaders, let us not forget about our young leaders. As we rise, let us lift them up as well. And let us be patient with them. And let's make sure that we teach them the right principles of leadership and business, because these are the future leaders. So the baton, when we pass on the baton, let it be firm. Let's make sure they hold it firm so that they cannot drop it. And then it will go on to the next level, to the next generation, and that will be our legacy. They must excel and lead more than us. This is their time. Let's really take them up, mentor, coach them, and make sure that they are, sponsored in these roles and taken care of. And they must also execute it with excellence.
Yes, yes, really step into that space of leadership at the highest level that is possible for them. And to keep dreaming and visioning for the world. I think we have to keep allowing that to evolve so that our leadership can be um, live. It's not an old dream, it's not an old vision. It is one that is dynamic and is responding to what is happening in the world. Yet the vision is what is consistent. Consistent. So let me ask my last question.
Okay. Let me brace
If
up.
you could, if you could speak to all the leaders in the world, all of them, young, old, um, leaders of households as well as leaders of countries, if you could speak to all of them and knew that they would listen to what you have to say, what would you tell them?
Oh, wow. I would tell them to lead with their minds, with their hearts and their souls when they lead people, and not lead with their eyes and on the physical things they see, but they must lead seeing the future in what they are doing. In that respect, what am I saying? I am saying lead with the integrity, with the goodness, that what you are holding today, let it not fall on the ground and break. Let it be passed on to all generations. So, in essence, I'm saying you are leading people who have nominated you and voted for you to be in those leadership positions. So, my final note would be pleading with them that lead according to your calling, and lead and knowing that people are, precious to humanity, and lead knowing that the first thing to take care of in the organization or any community is the people. And if you take care of the people, they will take care of your business as well. So people are the most important asset in any organization. Those are the people who will make you a leader. Those people make you to be the loved leader. People make you to be where you are. So respect them and give the best of ability to make sure that you train them as well, equip them and equip the world. Make sure you lead to be remembered as a good leader of integrity. Let the all generations read about your goodness on earth, and your contribution is very important.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I completely wholeheartedly agree with you. And I believe that all of the people who are listening in would hold in their heart that that is the kind of leadership that they want to see and that they want to live in the world. We will have a better world. Yes. So thank you, Ntsiki Ncoco. I am so honored that you have joined us here with Global Dreammakers on the Leader's Edge. You have been so gracious with your time and with questions that some you didn't expect. But I
Thank
think
you.
it's been it's been a good conversation. Yes? Yeah.
Yes, I really enjoyed our journey together. It is true, the global dream maker's dream. Thank you so much for your platform to make sure that we are all connected globally and we make this dream come true, to lead with
Yeah.
integrity. Thank you.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much, Nziki. Thank you. Thank you. So everyone, thank you for joining us here on The Leader's Edge, brought to you by Global Dream Makers. We are here at least once a week, so check us on our Facebook page, and also Baylan Megino, that's me. I'm the host, and you can follow me on LinkedIn and on Facebook, and go to our website, globaldreammakers.com, to find out what we're up to. If you're ready to make some shifts and to get into clear vision and alignment, then check out our Your Life by Design workshop. I think it could be very helpful for you. And finally, look out for our notices about our upcoming uh, Dreammaker Summit. We have the Dreammaker Summit once a quarter, and we are going to have some wonderful speakers coming up, and would love to have you join us. So again, thank you so much, Ntsiki Ncoco from South Africa. We are honored to have had you as our guest. We'll have you
You're
again.
most welcome. Thank you. Oh, wow,
Thank
that's
you.
awesome. Thank you so much, Baylan. It was wonderful.
Thank you, everyone.